Let's talk about Zimbabwe, a country with a rich story and resilient people whose journey has been shaped by both triumphs and trials. From the bustling streets of Harare to the quiet rural villages, Zimbabweans have always found ways to adapt, survive, and hope for a better tomorrow. But, alongside this spirit, there's also a history of challenges, economic struggles, political tensions, and moments when the people's voices have been tested. Every nation has a rule book. For Zimbabwe, it's the 2013 Constitution, a document full of hope and big promises. It's more than just words on paper. It's meant to be a living contract between the government and its people, a guide for how the country should be run. Deep inside, Section 194(1) lays out the government's job description: be professional, ethical, efficient, fair, and accountable. These aren't just lofty ideals, they're the standards by which every public servant is meant to be measured. It's the government's customer service pledge: transparent, merit-based, and for everyone. Whether you're seeking a birth certificate or a business license, the promise is the same: equal treatment and respect. On paper, it's a blueprint for a government that truly serves its citizens, aiming to create a society where fairness and opportunity are not just dreams, but daily realities. But as we know, there's often a huge gap between what's written and what happens in real life. The best intentions can get lost in bureaucracy, underfunding, or lack of accountability. The Constitution was meant to build trust, to ensure a farmer in a rural village gets the same respect as a business person in Harare. It's about dignity for all, no matter where you live or what you do. These principles are the foundation for a modern, democratic country. They're supposed to unite people, inspire confidence, and create a sense of belonging for every citizen. Yet, too often, the reality doesn't match the promise. Many Zimbabweans still face long waits, unclear processes, and a sense that the system isn't working for them. It's like ordering something amazing online, only to be disappointed by what arrives. The expectation is high, but the delivery can fall short. So, how is Zimbabwe doing in living up to these promises? Let's explore the gap between the ideal and the reality, and see what it will take to truly fulfill the people's promise in the Constitution. Let's break down Section 194(1) in plain language, so everyone can understand what it really asks of our government and its workers. First, professional ethics. This means government workers must act with integrity at all times. They should be honest, never taking bribes, never abusing their power for personal gain, and always putting the public interest first. It's about doing the right thing even when no one is watching and setting an example for others. Next, efficient and economical use of resources. Public money isn't just numbers on a spreadsheet, it's the taxes and contributions of ordinary people. Every dollar should be spent wisely, just like a careful parent managing a family budget, making sure nothing is wasted and every expense is justified. That means no luxury cars for officials while hospitals go without medicine, and no endless, overpriced projects that benefit only a few. Resources should go where they're needed most, not where they'll make someone rich. Then, impartial and fair service. Every citizen, no matter their background, connections, or political beliefs, deserves the same treatment. Whether you're rich or poor, young or old, everyone should be able to access government services without discrimination or bias. No favoritism, no nepotism, just a level playing field for all. Jobs and opportunities in government should go to those who are qualified, not just to friends or family members of those in power. Transparency is another key principle. Government actions, decisions, and spending should be open for all to see. Budgets, contracts, and policies must be made public, so citizens can hold leaders accountable. Accountability means that if someone in government breaks the rules or fails in their duty, there are real consequences. No one is above the law, and everyone must answer for their actions. Public participation is essential. The government should not just make decisions behind closed doors, but actively listen to citizens, involve them in shaping policies, and respond to their needs and concerns. These principles aren't just lofty ideals, they're the standards for a government that truly serves its people, not one that simply rules over them. When these values are followed, they create a real partnership between the state and its people, building trust and cooperation. But when these standards are ignored, it opens the door to corruption, injustice, and a breakdown of trust between citizens and their leaders. Section 194(1) is supposed to be the backbone of public service in Zimbabwe, setting out the values that should guide every decision and action. The real test, though, is whether these values are lived out every day, in every office, and in every interaction between government and the people. So, how does Zimbabwe measure up? That's the question we all need to keep asking, and the standard we must demand from our leaders. Zimbabwe often feels like two countries, the one promised in the constitution and the one people actually live in. The ideals are clear: honesty, efficiency, fairness. But in reality, corruption is common, and public trust is low. Stories of officials demanding bribes or awarding contracts to friends are everyday news. The public sector is bloated, draining resources from essential services, projects stall, budgets balloon, and citizens see little benefit. Political connections often matter more than merit. Food aid and jobs sometimes go to loyalists, not those most in need. This gap between promise and practice leaves many feeling excluded in their own country. Want to see the gap between promise and reality? Try getting a passport in Zimbabwe. On paper it should be simple: apply, pay, wait, receive. In reality, people queue for days, sometimes weeks, just to submit forms. Delays stretch for months, and a shadow market emerges. Pay extra, skip the line. This isn't fair or efficient. It punishes ordinary people and rewards those with money or connections. The same story plays out in public procurement. Contracts should go to the best bidder, transparently and fairly. Instead, deals often go to companies linked to powerful officials, at inflated prices. Sometimes goods are never delivered at all. These failures aren't just mismanagement, they're a betrayal of the Constitution's core promises. The result? Services suffer, and trust in government erodes. This isn't just about slow service, it's about justice and fairness. Philosopher John Rawls said a fair system is one you'd accept no matter who you were in society. Zimbabwe's system often benefits the connected, not the vulnerable. Section 194(1) is meant to guarantee fairness for all, but when ignored, it creates two sets of rules. Jürgen Habermas argued that democracy needs open debate and accountability. When information is hidden and critics silenced, bad decisions multiply. Without transparency and participation, corruption thrives and citizens lose their voice. The Constitution's promises are about more than paperwork. They're about building a just society. When those promises are broken, everyone pays the price. Philosopher Michel Foucault saw power in everyday systems, like the passport office. He argued that these systems are not just about organization but about control and surveillance. Long queues and confusing rules aren't just inefficiency, they're ways the state controls people. These barriers can make simple tasks feel like insurmountable challenges. Bureaucracy can make citizens feel powerless, reinforcing old hierarchies. The frustration and helplessness felt in these moments are not accidental but a byproduct of a system designed to maintain control. Section 194(1) is supposed to flip this: public servants should serve the people, not rule over them. This section aims to ensure that the power dynamics are balanced in favor of the citizens. Economist Amartya Sen said real development is about expanding people's freedoms. True progress is measured by the ability of individuals to make choices and pursue opportunities. When public services fail, people can't get documents, education, or healthcare. These failures create significant barriers that prevent individuals from achieving their full potential. These aren't minor hassles, they're barriers to opportunity and dignity. The impact of these obstacles can be profound, affecting every aspect of a person's life. A dysfunctional public administration limits the nation's potential. It stifles innovation, growth, and the overall well-being of its citizens. Improving public service isn't just technical, it's a moral duty. Ensuring that public services are efficient and fair is essential for a just society. When government works, people can build better lives. Effective public services empower individuals and communities, fostering a sense of trust and cooperation. When it fails, it traps them in cycles of frustration and exclusion. The consequences of a failing system are far-reaching, affecting generations. The Constitution's values are meant to unlock opportunity for all. It is a blueprint for a society where everyone has the chance to succeed. Making them real is the key to true development. Ensuring that constitutional values are upheld is essential for genuine progress and equality. So, how do we close the gap between promise and reality? First, make meritocracy real. Hire and promote based on skill, not connections. An independent public service commission must have real power, no political interference. Job openings should be transparent and competitive, building a professional civil service. Second, digitize government services. No more sleeping in queues, apply online, pay electronically, get updates by SMS. Digital systems cut corruption and boost efficiency. Third, empower watchdogs like the Auditor General and Anti-Corruption Commission. Give them independence, funding, and legal backing to act on their findings. Parliament must debate audit reports and law enforcement must follow up. These aren't pipe dreams, other countries have done it. With real reforms, Zimbabwe can start to rebuild trust. It's about action, not just words. The time for change is now. Fixing public administration isn't just about paperwork, it's about rebuilding trust. When government works, people believe again, pay taxes, and participate in national life. Investors look for stability and fairness, not just resources. A transparent, efficient government attracts investment, creates jobs, and grows the economy. Good governance is the heart of real democracy. It's about more than elections. It's about daily accountability and citizen voice. True devolution brings decisions closer to communities. When services improve, lives improve. Children get medicine, graduates get jobs, farmers get support. People can focus on their dreams, not just survival. Section 194(1) is more than law. It's a roadmap to dignity and prosperity. The goal is a society where everyone has a fair shot. That's the future Zimbabwe deserves. Zimbabwe's constitution, especially Section 194(1), reflects the nation's highest hopes. It's a vision of fairness, efficiency, and true public service. But the gap between words and reality is still wide. Corruption, favoritism, and endless queues show how far there is to go. Yet these principles are now law, a tool for citizens to demand better. The solutions are clear independent institutions, technology, empowered watchdogs, and a culture of service. Real change needs leadership from the top and pressure from below. The journey is tough, but closing the gap is Zimbabwe's most important project. It's the key to unlocking the nation's potential and turning promises into reality. The promise is made. Now it's time to make it real.